Hello, my name is Craig, and I'm here to welcome you to Florida. To tell you a little bit about myself, I moved here from Philadelphia a little over 3 years ago. The main reason for moving here was family, but some of the perks of living here is the wonderful weather, fine beaches, exciting theme parks, and extravagant wildlife. Now, I know most of you are probably here to visit our wonderful beaches and to see Mickey at Disney, but one of my favorite attractions are the manatees.
Did you know manatees may join polar bears as one of the first iconic victims of extinction due to climate change? Over the last 2 decades, the manatee population has doubled in size to about 6,600, which is an increase of 50%. Part of the reason for the increase in the amount of population, including deaths, is the researchers' ability to be able to accurately count the number of manatees in population versus those that are dying. While having the population increase by 50% is a very positive thing, the alarming issue is the 13% increase in the amount of manatee deaths from 2016 to 2017. In 2016, there were a recorded 472 deaths compared to 538 the following year in 2017. It took 20 years to increase the entire population by 50%, but only 1 year to increase the deaths by 13%. If that trend was followed, it would only take about 7 years to successfully double the amount of deaths from last year. The major cause for the sudden increase in manatee deaths is the manatee's exposure to what's called cold stress. Cold stress is a very serious condition that occurs when the body can no longer maintain a normal temperature. The result can be serious cold-related illnesses and injuries, permanent tissue damage, or death. A cold environment forces the body to work harder to maintain its temperature as it draws heat from the body. During the winter months, manatees search for warmer waters to avoid cold stress. Some places where they may find warmer waters are around power plants, natural springs, and thermal basins. Natural springs provide the warmest water for manatees. However, only 17.5% of the manatee population is able to make it to a natural spring. The greatest chance for cold stress comes to the manatees who rely on power plants for warmth, which makes up about 48.5% of the population. That means almost half of the manatee population cannot find warm enough temperatures to survive without being exposed to cold stress. Another cause for the increase in manatee deaths is our interactions as humans with their habitat. It is common to see large scars on their backs caused by the propellers of boats that invade their environment. During the peak season, it is common for there not to even be enough room for the manatees to swim because of all the boat traffic. Three Sisters Springs is a popular place for manatees to go during the winter because it provides warm water. Because so many manatees travel there looking for warm waters, it has become a desirable tourist location for people to view the manatees. It's been said that Three Sisters Springs doesn't look like much of a wildlife refuge on a typical winter weekend, but more like a frat party, with party barges crowding the rivers and loud music playing and partying going on where the manatees live. It's common to look into the water and see cases of beer cans, and candy wrappers all throughout their habitat. The first way we as humans can contribute to protecting the manatees is to be able to track and count them more accurately. Recently, researchers have been able to locate the DNA of manatees in water even if they are not present. If researchers can continue to locate the DNA of these manatees, they can locate the hard-to-reach places that manatees congregate, as well as map the travel corridors that the manatees migrate through. Continued research of manatee DNA locations could help researchers direct the manatees to warmer areas of water and help us reroute boat traffic to avoid collisions with the wildlife. But until the scientists are finished with their research, here are some things we can do as tourists visiting the manatees' home. The first thing we can do is just simply throw our trash in a can or in a bag instead of into their habitat. If it seems like the rivers might be a little crowded, it might be best for the manatees if you came back and visited another day. And if you do get a chance to travel through their habitat, try not to get too close to the manatees. If you see them near your boat, turn the engine off until they are safely away from the bottom of the boat. And lastly, as Grandma used to say, treat them as you wish to be treated.